What's up guys, it's your boy Tooch here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about some pros and cons that I see throughout Pokemon Masters up to this point. So, I've been grinding Pokemon Masters pretty hard since it first came out on Android about a week or so ago now, maybe a little less than a week now, and I feel like I have a pretty decent handle on the game and also have enough to make this pros and cons list as of right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to label this video as pros and cons of Pokemon Masters, the beginning part, so like the release date version, and then down the road when I'm going to keep playing the game some more. I love the game, it's really fun, it's really addicting, so down the road, maybe like a couple of months or something, or probably a little bit longer, I'm going to make another one, pros and cons, Pokemon Masters, blank months since release or something like that, so people know that I made one in the beginning, I made one like months later, and etc, etc, etc. I did this for Untitled 2 Mobile, and I thought it'd be a pretty cool idea to do for this game as well since it was first released. So, starting this off, I'm going to start with the pros list. From what I've picked out so far, the pros: 1, a unique story. This story is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of skeptical on how this whole story thing would work. Turns out you are your own character, which is pretty cool. You go out and you have your own Pikachu. Every trainer has their own character or Pokemon, and at the end of basically every single story mission, you unlock a free new trainer and their Pokemon. There are 12 story missions, and I believe 11 or 10 of them you unlock a new character, especially when you're facing off against the Masters League. You are unlocking 4-star characters for free, which is absolutely amazing. That's an awesome feature that they put in this game. I'm really happy that they made it so a lot of characters are free to unlock, and it's going to stay this way as the story mode progresses and as they keep adding new stories. No energy amount per time frame like other free-to-play games. So what I mean by this is, if you guys play Untitled 2 Mobile, Dragon Ball Legends, basically almost any mobile game, to be quite honest with you, you can only use a certain amount of energy per day. So for example, in Dragon Ball Legends, I believe it's 10. It's either 10 or 9 energy, and when you do like a story mode mission or an event mission, it either costs 1 energy or 2 energy. And then once that timer, or once that energy runs out, you have to wait the certain amount of time. For Legends, I believe it's 20 minutes for 1 energy refill bar, or you can go ahead and spend tickets to refill them, energy tickets, if you have them. But if you don't, you gotta wait the certain amount of minutes, 20 minutes for one, 20 minutes for another, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, etc. Pokemon Masters has no time frame, like energy system, whatever. You can play as many events as you want, as many battles, as many times as you humanly possibly want to and can, which I think is awesome. I was not expecting this because every mobile game basically has this kind of system now, and it honestly kind of stinks. Does not seem play to win at the moment. So I made this list a couple days after the game came out, and then I just updated it a little bit like 5 minutes before recording this video. It still does not seem free to play. There's only been one new edition so far, and it's been blue, and a lot of the characters that you still get through the main story are still one of like the best units in the game. Lucario is one of the best units in the game in my personal opinion, as well as, I'm gonna say probably about half of the characters you unlock. Obviously there's some 5-star units that you have to do the scout mission or scout pulls for that are very good, but they're not like over the top gonna kill you, you know what I mean? Like if you see a 5-star Totodile online, he's not gonna destroy you, okay? You're gonna be fine. It does not seem like a play to win game at the moment. I want to see how this carries on with multiplayer in the future. If they make it so you can do a 3v3, you and 2 friends or you and 2 randoms face off against 3 other randos. They don't have that at the moment right now. I'm curious to see at that point if it'll become pay to win, but I still don't think it will be. Decent to good gem deals in the shop for purchasing. So in the gem shop, there have been a month, I believe there's a monthly deal, a single like one-time or two one-time deals, and each thing is about $5 less. I remember it was $5 less than the original thing. So if it was 3,200 gems, I forget, I think it's $23.99. Usually it's $28.99. That's okay, it's decent. It could be a lot worse, and I think having those $5 off, it does change the opinion of some people into buying it. Your character actually somewhat talks. Your character somewhat talks. And what I mean by somewhat is you actually get to click between two options on what your character wants to say, and he says it. I think that's a cool feature because your character never talks in the game. The closest thing you got to your character talking in a Pokemon game was just ... It's literally saying nothing. So the fact that we actually get our character to actually talk a little bit, it's a slight progress forward. It's still pretty cool in my personal opinion. Feel if a real Pokemon game on mobile finally. What is that supposed to... What did I put? Feel if a real Pokemon game on mobile finally. I think what I meant to say was we finally have a pretty cool, like, real Pokemon game. A lot of these knockoff Pokemon games, they're not made by the Pokemon Company or anyone associated with them. It's just off-brands, and they're really not even Pokemon games, to be honest, even though they advertise to be. So what I think I mean by this is that we finally have a real-life Pokemon game, like, mobile finally. Cool variety of trainers chosen. So, when you look at the character shows right now, there's currently 66 trainers in the game, and they're all pretty cool and unique, and most of them fit into the story some way, somehow. I think the characters they've chosen so far are pretty cool, and I know down the road we're going to get better characters, and what I want to see though is what specific Pokemon are they going to introduce. Is there a plan to introduce a trainer for every single Pokemon in the game? That would be pretty cool, but that would be a very, very wide roster of Pokemon, so I don't know if they can do that. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to stick to the basic, probably fan favorite ones, and in their opinion, for each type, what Pokemon are probably the strongest. Conversation scenes give you a little more gems. So this I put, I believe, as a pro and a con. Conversations in this game are not needed. Like, you'll be going through and you'll be like, alright, let's battle, and then the scene will end, and you'll get 10 free gems. And then you gotta click on the next mission, which is you actually battling them. They could have easily put these two together just back to back in one story and made it 40 gems to save a little bit more time. But if their original plan was to combine them and only give us 30 gems for completing it, I'm not going to complain about the 10 extra gems that we receive. It's not that much, but it's better than nothing. X attacks are with Pokemon and provide as a turn to get closer to your special move. So, or your sync pair move. So, basically, this X attack or potion or anything like that is a fantastic idea, especially for the ones that don't cost any energy. Even the ones that do cost energy are still pretty good. But I love the fact that they implemented X attacks into this game, or X speed, or X defense all the way that they did, and that way it counts as a turn towards your sync move, super move as well. I think that was a well thought out idea, and that's something under the rug that I feel like people are just gonna kind of shove underneath there, that they're gonna take for granted a little bit. Different events coming out frequently. So, like I said, this game's been out for either a week or a little less than a week, a couple days less than a week. And we've already seen 2 events, and we've already seen 1 new character. This is a great sign for the future. If they keep rolling characters out and scout summons and banners as frequently or even a little bit later than what they're doing right now, this game's going to be fine. Especially for events. They got the blue event, and then they have a rock type event right now. And I think that if they keep rolling these different events out, they can do grass, they can do fire, water, certain other characters. They could do like one for Brock, one for Misty, etc, etc, etc. I think that it will give the game a lot of variety as well. Now, on to the cons. Don't really level up the same as traditional Pokemon games. This is a con for me, and by the way, this might not even, a lot of these might not even be cons to you guys. This is just my personal opinion that I think are just not really pros, and I have a little bit of an issue with, personally speaking. So, don't really level up the same as traditional Pokemon games. I'm used to going out fighting random Pokemon, grinding, kind of the same way in here. I'm used to going and battling trainers, like in the training mode and everything. But you're really just grinding to get the level up manuals, and then once you get enough to bump your Pokemon basically from like 40 to 75. It's a lot of time that you're saving, but I would have liked to see them implement it a little bit different for XP at least. At the moment, not a lot of trainers to unlock don't have a fan favorites or stars in the game. So what I mean by this is that you don't have like the classic characters like Red, you don't have all the classic trainers from Hoenn, Sinnoh, Kanto, you know, etc, etc, etc. You only have a couple of them. Like, we only have 2, I believe, Chikorita and Totodile from one generation. We don't even have all of like Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle. Like, we have Bulbasaur, but we don't have all the fan favorites or any like the first gens. I feel like a lot of those should have came into the game like that. And plus, where we have Pikachu, I'm wondering how it's going to work if they're going to implement Red in the game. He's probably going to have a Charizard. Actually, no, in the story mode he did have a Charizard, I just remembered that. So he's going to have his Charizard and stuff, but that means we're not going to have a Charmander. So I don't, unless they make it with a different character, but that really wouldn't make any sense to me, honestly. So it's kind of a shame and a bummer to see the way they implemented some of the characters. I know I said earlier that it was a good variety and the types that were chosen, Pokemon that were chosen, were cool, but at the same time it kind of stinks to see that we don't have all these classic first generation trainers. And again, I know they're going to be coming in the future, but again, we're not going to see the first versions of them, or for a lot of them. I feel like we're just going to skip to the final part of etc. Charizard. Can't evolve every Pokemon. Some Pokemon already come evolved. So like I just said, some Pokemon like Charizard, for example, we're going to already come evolved. I know he's going to be able to Mega Evolve, but it's just the classic thing of Pokemon with me was getting your Pokemon, grinding against trainers to level them up, and then going and evolving them. And we're not going to have that in this kind of game, unfortunately. And also, every Pokemon won't evolve, at least right now. So like Trico, for example, we can't even evolve him. I don't know why they're making it so like limited on the amount of shards you can get, evolution shards at the moment, and also what Pokemon can evolve. I wish they just full-fledged send them out. I wish there was a different way to get shards, evolution shards, rather than just purchasing them with coins. And I wish they put a lot of the first version Pokemon in their first like evolution form to be able to evolve to their second and third already. Can't explore everywhere during certain story mode missions. Make more routes accessible. So basically, this is a little one. It's just like when you're going through and you have like 2 stops or whatever, and in the story mode, I know there's a couple stages where you have 4 stops and you can talk to a couple people, whatever. But you can clearly see in some of the missions, there's a bridge that extends all the way around, and you see a lot of trainers from that bridge all the way to the side that we can't access. I think it'd be cool if they give us a little bit more free roam and being able to go and talk to those trainers and battle those trainers. Can only use 3 Pokemon per match. So, this is, I don't know how I feel about this one anymore, because I played multiplayer and you get to use all 3 of your Pokemon for multiplayer. So basically you have 9 Pokemon when you're teaming up against 2 other randoms. But for the story mode, I still would like to see maybe even bringing at least like 2 Pokemon. So a set team of 6 characters, so you could have 2 Pokemon per line instead of just 1. I would like 3, but I feel like that would make the game a little too easy. I would like to see them upgrade it to 2, or make certain events at least a line of 2 per like row. So you have 2 for one row, 2 for another row, 2 for another row. So you have 6 total Pokemon coming to the battle instead of just 3. Only 1 type disadvantage instead of multiple. I was reading on Twitter, a lot of people are fine with this because the way that the game is and how it's going to make it a lot simpler if you have 1 type disadvantage instead of multiple, instead of like dual typings. But that's not the classic Pokemon in my opinion. So when I go out to a battle and I see a Sceptile, if he's disadvantage against fire, and I got a flying type, but it's not super effective. It's just one of those things where I've played Pokemon since I was really young, and it just grinds my gears a little bit, if you know what I mean. So it's not horrible. It's probably for the best that they did it this way. It's just something in the back of my mind. I'm like, it's not super effective. You know what I mean? So that one's not major. It's just a little thing with me that just bothers me a little bit. I just wanted to share. Can't learn new or different moves over time, especially if they evolve. You don't learn any different moves. This one I feel like is interesting. I feel like as you leveled up, it should give you, each Pokemon should have a number of moves that as they level up they could possibly learn, instead of always having the same type of moves, kind of like regular Pokemon games. So where Prinplup has Bubble and Bubble Beam, or Piplup, if they evolve they could maybe learn Water Gun, or when they evolve they can maybe learn Aqua Jet. You know what I mean? When they hit a certain level especially, I think they should have implemented that into the game a little bit better, so that way you can have a variety of different characters. And I'm not saying like a ton of moves, maybe like 3 to 5 moves per character. And it doesn't have to be all the strongest moves like Solar Beam, Hydro Pump, etc., etc. I don't know. I just feel like if they added a little more moves to it they can learn, it would just add more of a strategy and variety to the game. Items are with Pokemon, so potions, full heal, etc. they count as a turn. Again, kind of like the same thing as before. I do like that. I think that was a really good idea. No side challenges per battle to earn more gems. So basically, like Dragon Ball Legends for example, you go into a battle, right? You win it for the first time, you get 10 gems, and you have like 7 side challenges, like use like 2 water type Pokemon. I'm using it as what could be an example for this game. Use 2 water type Pokemon for this battle. Make sure you get the first hit. Make sure you don't lose a Pokemon, you know what I mean? And you can earn more gems that way. So like 3 gems, 3 gems, 3 gems for like each battle. I would hopefully think it would be 10 or maybe at least 5, but that would be a different way for people to go back, complete the missions, not only in the story mode, but also a way to get just more gems, especially where it costs so much to unlock a scout battle and not enough ways to earn free gems at the moment. I think this would have been a prime idea for them to do. Characters don't talk what they say, so that sounds kind of confusing. What I mean basically, when you click like next during the story modes, you see what the character's like text says. It'll say like, alright, let's go up the road now and look for the next gym leader. But your character just goes, alright. I remember it happened so many times with Brock. I wish they made it so they actually talked and you could read it too. Not just saying, alright, and then you have to read the paragraph that they put down at the bottom. The way the Sync Star promotion works. I just figured how this works actually. Basically, how it works is, you need to pull out of the scout banners the same character 5 times, and you get them to level 5 for Sync Scout, whatever, Sync Pairing. Then you need to pull them again to get 1 3-star, I'm just using this as an example, 3-star upgrade. So when I thought you got this duplicate, once you got the 5 out of 5, you could upgrade them to 4 stars. No. You need to pull them 20 more times after getting 5. So basically, you need to pull this character 25 times. 25 times. Out of a 3,000 gem or 100 gem scout pull. What? That is asinine. I'm sorry. 25 times you need to pull a character to promote them to level 4. Or star level 4, sorry. Are you kidding me? And it's not just for this character. I know the more characters you get to level 5, the more duplicates you get for them. It's all the same, so all the 3-star Pokemon you can use this ticket for. So for example, if you pull multiple like Piplups, just for example, and you pulled multiple of like 4 other kinds and you get all those tickets, it's gonna be 10, even like 10 instead of just 1. I know it's just slow until you pull the duplicates of the characters to 5 stars. I get that, but still, that is still outrageous to me. that you need to do that, where it's already cost 3,000 gems to purchase a pack. This is basically a cash grab right now. It's starting off as a cash grab. If they made it this way with 1,000 gems per multi-pull, 10 times scout pull, that's better. That's still a little crappy, but that's better at least. But 3,000? You know how long it's going to take for people to 5-star a lot of these characters? They want you to go and spend money on this game. There is no doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt about it. That they want you to go and spend your real life money on this game to remotely, the amount of dollars you're gonna have to spend to promote a character from 4-star to 5-star. It's gonna be ridiculous. In 3 to 4-star, etc., 3 to 5-star, it's way too much. This is a horrible feature in the game, in my personal opinion. They should lower this down, the gem costs, give us more ways to earn free gems, and change this system. They should have done, once you got 5 of the duplicates, you promoted them. Perfect. Not 20 freaking 5. That's unbelievable. That's just crazy. And I just found this out from just recording my previous video on the blue banner. Yeah, so I hope they change this in the future. They probably won't. It's going to really stink, but I hope they deeply consider it. If enough of the community speaks out about it enough, I hope they do. But this has been your boy Tooch for now. Let me know what you guys thought about this list. This is all I got so far. Again, this is just for the release of the game, so I don't want to be too hard on them. But this is what I kind of put together on my own. So, until next time, be strong, stay strong, peace.